wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
We are the Breakfast Club. We are here.
Yes. Thank you, God.
Yeah, I'm telling on the garbage trucks this morning. You know what I mean? There's nothing you can do when things are out of your control.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're in New York City where we broadcast from, NYC 311 is the number to report the garbage trucks.
Oh, my God.
Damn.
No, that was
I'm dead
disrespectful
serious.
this morning.
Anytime you get stuck
It was
behind the garbage
disrespectful.
trucks and they just disrespectful like that, I know everybody start blowing their horn. I don't, because there's nothing you can do in that situation. But if they don't have no regard for people that got to get to go where they got to go and they taking their slow time, report them.
A couple minutes I understand, but
10?
literally,
Nah.
Charlamagne and I were between 10 and 15 minutes. We were behind the truck.
And you 2 blocks away from
We
work?
2 blocks away from work.
Hey, come on, man.
15 minutes. We stuck.
Come on, man. NYC 311. You don't know people in emergencies and they sick trying to get to the hospital. You don't know what it is. Report them garbage trucks that do that.
And they was taking their sweet time,
Oh,
man.
my
I'm
God.
sitting there. Yeah.
Wow.
I'd have called ICE on them if I would.
First of all, a lot of dump truck workers are black. They're not Mexican.
Sure,
Don't ever do
but
that.
I just was thinking about somebody I could call in that moment. That's what made me Google and find out about NYC 311. Because in that moment, I was just like,
Yo, you literally Googled who to call on the dump
yes.
truck.
We were there for
In that
15
moment,
minutes.
in
There was
that
nothing to
moment,
do.
It was disrespectful.
There was nothing to do.
I wasn't even thinking about me. I was just thinking, like, what about anybody else that might be sick or trying to get to the hospital, trying to get to
was
work?
disrespectful.
Like, it was just bad. Yes.
Well, all right. Well, let's get in some front page news. Let's start off with some quick sports. Now, last night, the Lakers tied the series. They beat the Timberwolves 94-85. Thunder beat the Grizzlies 118-99. They lead the series 2-0. And the Pacers beat the Bucks 123-115. They lead that series in the playoffs. What's up, Mimi?
What's up, y'all? Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
Good.
Peace, Mimi.
Good morning. Good morning. All right, well, let's start with something that is about to hit people in their pockets. The Trump administration says it will resume debt collection for people who have defaulted on their federal student loans starting May 5th. Now, a student loan goes into default if you hadn't made a payment in about 270 days or approximately around 9 months. The Department of Education says this will apply to all federal loan types, including direct loans, Perkin loans, federal family education loans. So right now, more than 5 million people are already in default and another 4 million people are close to it. That means nearly 9 million borrowers could soon face really serious consequences. In a press conference, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, explained how the administration plans to move forward with collections. Let's hear what she had to say.
Borrowers will now be clearly expected to repay their loans, and those who default on their loan obligations will face involuntary collections. The government can and will collect defaulted federal student loan debt by withholding money from borrowers' tax refunds, federal pensions, and even their wages.
Yeah, I thought they already did that. I know for a fact when I had school loans and I got a tax refund, they automatically took that to pay the school loan. So I thought that was already done.
Well, you know what? They started it, they put it back into session like right around COVID. So they haven't pressed or went after student loan borrowers since before the COVID-19 crisis. And so now the Trump administration says it will start sending out notices later this summer, informing those who have defaulted on their student loans about their wage garnishment. They can take up to 15% of your check. Again, all this starts on May 5th. And if you think you might be in default, the administration, they recommend you contacting the Student Aid Default Resolution Group. You may be able to get back on track by making a monthly payment, enrolling in an income-driven repayment plan, or applying for a loan rehabilitation. But this is about to hit millions of people in about a week and a half.
Hey, if you voted for Trump because of the economy, if you voted for Trump because he was going to put more money in your pockets, you got to be rethinking that decision at this point.
Of course.
I mean,
Of
dang.
course. But when you have
it ain't
school
even been
loans,
100 days. Lord have mercy.
But you're right. But when we have school loans, right, and when you graduate, you have to look for a job. And then it gives you a certain amount of time to find a job. And then 9 times out of 10, that job can't pay for your rent. If you have a car, you're eating, and then to pay that school loan, there's no possible way. You can't afford to pay all those things.
Yeah, and if inflation is high, if people are losing their jobs, if tariffs got the cost of goods high, where people going to get this money from?
Exactly.
What wages you going to garnish? I ain't got nothing.
And then you're just going to mess up my credit, but I can't pay you because it's either my rent or it's going to pay these school loans. And which one you going to pay? And if you got kids, I got to put food on the table, I'm going to pay these school loans.
OnlyFans, selling ass.
I
That's
was
what's
raised
going to
on
happen.
OnlyFans.
25 a cheek?
25,000 a
Hey,
cheek.
yo.
God damn.
That only work if you white.
Oh, all right. Well, that is front page news. Mimi, we'll see you next hour.
All right.
morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Start off with some quick sports. Lakers beat the Timberwolves. They tied the series last night, 94-85. The Thunder beat the Grizzlies, 118-99. They lead the series 2-0. And the Pacers beat the Bucks. They lead that series 2-0. What's up, Mimi?
What's up, y'all? All right, well, let's start in Florida, where GOP Rep Byron Donalds got an earful at a town hall earlier this week. Now, the crowd wasn't shy about pressing him on the Trump administration and its controversial plans for the Department of Government Efficiency. He was asked, as a member of the Oversight Committee, what oversights was he proposing on Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Let's hear what he had to say.
I like how everybody's shouting at me, the black guy on the stage with a microphone in his hand, saying, have you read this book, read this book, read this book, read this book? Don't marginalize my life and what I've done. Don't do that. Don't marginalize the lives of other black people in this country who have done well. Don't do that. We should celebrate the successes in our country, not push them down because you have to have these.
So that was his response to, the crowd asked him about DEI and about his pushback. So he pushed back and told the crowd that as a black man, don't talk to him about diversity, equity, and inclusion. But then when he was talking about Elon Musk and Donald Trump, the crowd had some boos and some other things. So let's hear what he had to say about that.
What they are doing is under the directions of the President of the United States. If you're going to talk about what oversight is doing, we actually have to let the DOGE committee, the DOGE department, actually finish its work. What they are examining right now is inefficiency in the federal system. This is something that President Obama wanted to do when President Obama was elected president of the United States. You can do what you want to, but those are the facts.
So therefore, the crowd wasn't happy during this town hall. They were trying to get Byron to answer questions about DOGE, about the Trump administration, and the crowd in Florida, of all places, they really gave him a hard time. Dozens of people left after voicing their frustration with his answer. Now, Donalds is also running for governor of Florida in next year's election.
Listen, people are out here hurting. So if the economy is bad, people are gonna be mad. And if you voted for Trump or you endorsed Trump, like Byron Donalds did, people are gonna hold you accountable. Like that pain they're feeling in their pockets, they're gonna project that pain onto you. So you gotta, Byron gotta stand 10 toes down on his decision.
And he's the face of it right now. So if you're holding a town meeting, you are the face of their frustration.
That's right.
So, and speaking of DOGE and Elon Musk said he will take a step back from his work as leader of the Department of Government Efficiency. He made the announcement on a call with investors yesterday. He said he will continue to spend a day or two per week on government issues for as long as the president will have him. But this announcement comes after a tough year for Tesla. The company's stock is down 40% this year. And earlier this month, it warned investors about the biggest drop in sales history. Revenue for the first quarter, it fell 71% compared to the same time of last year.
I wonder if I don't think that's going to work for Elon. And the reason I don't think that's going to work for Elon is because he has chosen a side. He's chosen a political worldview. So the only way I think it's going to work for Tesla is if he steps down, period, as CEO.
He's definitely going to have to step down because people don't want to drive Teslas anymore. And not necessarily because it's not a good car, because it's actually a really good vehicle.
It's because of Elon and his politics.
But not only that, but when I'm driving around the city and people are smearing dog poop on your car or they're
because of
spitting on your
Elon
car,
and his politics.
they're giving you middle fingers, they're flattening your tires. Yeah. Do you want to deal with that?
Because of Elon and his politics.
So it's like, no, I don't want to deal with it. So I'm not going to buy a Tesla. When you got people that's protesting outside of Teslas, I don't want to pull up there. If I drive one, I know I'm going to face consequences if I leave it on the street.
It's people who've lost their job because of Elon
so I don't
Musk.
Want to.
Elon Musk went in there and slashed all those federal jobs. So when they see those Teslas, the same thing with Byron Donalds, that Tesla represents Elon Musk.
Correct.
So yes, the Elon Musk and his politics. The only way things are going to bounce back for Tesla is if Elon Musk steps down as CEO.
I agree with you.
Period.
Yep. Do we have time for one more?
Yes.
All right, so President Trump's his approval rating, it is dipping. It is at 42%, which is the lowest since he has returned to office. Now, this is according to a new Reuters poll. The drop comes after more Americans expressed concern over his efforts to expand his presidential power. And the poll found discomfort with Trump's push to punish liberal universities, his attempt to appoint himself board of the chair of the Kennedy Center. Now, a large majority, 83%, said the president must follow federal court rulings, even if he disagrees with them. 57% said it's not okay to withhold federal funding based on political views. that includes 1/3 of Republicans. Now, his approval rating was underwater nearly in every issue, including immigration, inflation, and the rule of law. 3 out of 4 respondents said Trump should not seek a third term, something that the Constitution bars, but he's been floating anyway. And even among Republicans, 53% say no to a third term, and 59% of Americans say that we are losing credibility on the global under his leadership on the global economy.
And it hasn't been 100 days. Listen, you can't have a bad economy and authoritarian rule. Okay,
Yeah.
if the economy was booming, people might let you get the authoritarian rule off. Okay, but you can't have both.
Yeah, so that is your front page news. I'm Mimi Brown. Follow me on social at Mimi Brown TV. And for more news coverage, follow the Black Information Network or download the free iHeartRadio app and visit BINnews.com.
I saw you on TV or something, Mimi. What you was doing? You was on somebody TV network.
Hey.
I was. Thank you, Charla. I have been promoting my docuseries, Too Out to Dinner with Love. It just documents the Eaton fire and how it displaced a historically Black neighborhood in Altadena, California.
Where can people watch
see
that
it?
at?
Yeah.
It is on the iHeart. You can go to iHeart. It's on the iHeartRadio podcast network. Just put in Too Out to Dinner with Love, and it'll pop right up.
Okay.
Well, thank you,
Thank you,
Mimi.
Mimi.
See you tomorrow.
Thank
You
you.
back tomorrow?
I'm back on Friday. I'll be back Friday.
Okay.
See you
All right,
Friday.
I'll see y'all then.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
bye.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.